Hi, this video is for sex addicts who are in partnership with somebody that they've betrayed. And if you're in good recovery and you're doing all the right things, it can feel very disconcerting when your partner doesn't notice them, or worse than that, if she doesn't believe them. Now, I'm here to remind you, you've got to have empathy. And empathy means you understand the degree and the severity of the way you betrayed her, and then you have to put on your hat of patience and say, I might have to do this for 2 or 3 years to begin to earn her trust. Here's what I know to be true. I know that it's tough when you're in recovery and you don't feel she's noticed. Maybe she's even disregarded it. But she's been hurt. She's been wounded. She's been devastated. And for those reasons alone, you have to show openness, brokenness, and humility. And what that means is that you have to take a back seat to what you want her to see about you. And you have to keep doing the next right thing. I know that's hard because we all like reinforcement. We all like to be told that we're doing a good job. And you're not likely to get that from her. I've talked to thousands of partners, and they say that. They say, why should I congratulate him on doing the next right thing? I get he's an addict, and I get he might be in recovery, but I'll tell you what, I shouldn't have to notice that he's doing good things because he should have been doing them all along. Now you, as a recovering addict, and I understand that. What she's really saying is she's still so betrayed and hurt that she doesn't have the energy, and even more than that, she doesn't want to take the risk of noticing the changes, because what happens if you don't sustain them? So, I want you to remind yourself, whether that's through journaling, whether that's through talking to your 12-step groups, whether that is in your own meditation, that you're doing this for you and your recovery and her, the relational recovery. And you have to be able to do it without expecting an outcome of gratitude. You see, she may be noticing the changes that you're making, but in reality, she's afraid. She's afraid that you're going to go back there, especially if she's talking to a CSAT. Because a certified sex addictions therapist, a CSAT, will tell her this is the hardest addiction to beat. And if he doesn't work all his recovery tools and really create that foundation of support, he will likely not make it. It's very difficult when we're working with partners, especially if we're APSATs, if we are a partner-sensitive trauma team. It's very difficult not to help her by explaining the education behind sex addiction. That's our job to do. So we're telling her how difficult this is for you. Now, you may be one of the lucky ones, far and few between, that says, once discovery occurred, I had no desire to act out again. I've met a few of you, and I believe you. But you can't let your guard down, because when you let your guard down, that's when the addict will grab hold and take you down. So you've got to keep doing the next right thing and follow all of your recovery tools. That means you need to be going to meetings, lots of them. You need to have a sponsor or a mentor. You need to be reading your green book, your White book, your Recovery Nation book, your Every Man's Battle book. You need to be reading the literature that reinforces the changes that you're making. You need to do the 12-step work. That's where the transformation occurs. And you need to be increasing your level of relationships by looking for people that are in good recovery. Because when you look for people in good recovery, you'll want what they have, and it will increase and encourage the desire to do the next right thing. Okay, now you've heard me say that 3 times. Doing the next right thing. You're doing that for you, the next right thing. So that means you cannot depend on her acknowledgement. And if you have faltered over and over and over again, and now you're in good recovery, that means you have to try even harder to do the next right thing, because she's been betrayed over and over and over again. But don't get discouraged, because your recovery is about integrity, and you are working on developing that integrity because you absolutely know that that's who you want to be. And the big book in AA promises you that if you keep doing the next right thing, eventually urges and cravings will go away, and you will have managed successfully this illness. And then, of course, you know what you have to do. It's your turn to pay it forward and help others. That's what the 12th step is all about. So that's where you need to get your gratification. When people come up to you and say, wow, my wife would like to be married to you, or wow, I want what you have. That's the feel good that you'll get from doing the steps and doing the next right thing. So I'm going to ask you to please stop expecting her to toot your horn, to thank you for your recovery, to appreciate you. She'll eventually do that. That's my guarantee. If she's willing to hang in there and work through her own pain, her own trauma, and the stress that she feels. And if she's with you right now, there's a good chance she's going to do that. There's no guarantee. You know, I personally would love for all of you to stay together, but if she's too traumatized, if she can't see the changes, if she doesn't buy them, if she doesn't believe them, if she can't trust them, that tells you there's so much trauma there that you have to sit with her and contain that pain. That's your job. And you know, I wrote that book, Help.Her.Heal. A sex addiction workbook for empathy. It's to teach you how to empathize and acknowledge what she's going through. And that's the relational work you've got to do. You've got to remind her that you get that you caused this deep, dark pain. And I know to be in a marriage with somebody who isn't seeing your changes is tough. But I've got to remind you, from her point of view, to stay in a marriage where she's been so betrayed is sometimes offensive to her own sense of self. She's sitting there thinking, why am I doing this? I didn't sign up for it. I can't trust it. Why am I still here? Why don't I make the move to leave? Why don't I get a backbone and get out? Well, more than likely, there's some part of her that understands that this is an addiction and that it was compulsive and that you had no control. That's the good news. But in that knowing that you had no control is her fear that something may happen and you'll go back there. So please be patient. Give your own self kudos. Engulf yourself in a fellowship who notices. And be patient with her. Hold her pain. Acknowledge what you've done over and over and over again. So when she has a trigger, you can say, I know I caused you this trigger, and I am so sorry that you're dealing with the aftermath of my sickness. I can see how much pain you're in. And when you do that, you do the next right thing. You're here to help her heal now that she's experiencing the collateral damage of what you did. Don't give up on her because she isn't acknowledging you. Stay by her side, hold her pain, acknowledge it, and do the next right thing. That's the formula for recovery and for helping her to recover. She needs to recover too. Don't forget that. And it takes 3 to 5 years to do that in most cases. So be patient with her. Be patient with yourself. And know that you're doing it to rebuild a relationship that was severely fractured. I know you can do it. I have faith in you. So keep it up. Keep working it because it works. I'm Carol the Coach, aka Carol Jorgensen Sheets. And this was a video of encouragement for you.